Hi again, folks. How's all doing? So, yeah, I thought this would end up taking a couple of days to sort out. So, welcome to part two of the repair on this whole Black 5. The epoxy putty that I put into the this tender frame here, it's set okay for the coupling screw. I think that'll take a little hole fine. So I think that's going to be okay. But this bit, the little hole where the drawbar rivet fits through, nah, I wasn't happy with it. So last night I've glued on a little bit of cable tie, just add that bit plastic in there. So we'll drill a couple of holes, one for a screw to fix this drawbar on, and another hole to put the wires up through. You know, sometimes epoxy putty it's good for certain types of repair, but anything quite fine and finicky, nah, it's not so good. But I think we'll be okay. It just means this is going to be screwed on, and yeah, I think it'll be fine. Right, need to get rid of this rivet first of all. See if it'll just snip out. Like so. Just widen that up a little bit, put a wee bit of a thread on it. It should self-tap because it's just plastic, but just to get the screw started. Right, so that's the drawbar on. Kind of wish it didn't have as much play as that. Right, in my box of wee screws, I've found a little brass screw that's got a shoulder on it. It's a nice short screw, and the shoulder just fits through the hole in the drawbar perfectly. So if I can get this to screw into the tender here, that'll be a result. There we go, that's better. Not so much play. Right, the coupling will sit on there. That in there. There we go. That's the coupling fixed. Right, and I want to drill a bigger hole just in there for the wires to feed through. Right, will that be enough to let both wires through? One. And two, yep. Righto, okay. I think we start to think about getting this back together. Desolder this wire. Right, put that over there. That'll fit on like that. I've got to feed the wires through, so I can't fix that one just now. Right, okay. Let's feed the wires. Oh, jings. Right. Ugh. I've got the drawbar on upside down. It goes on like that. The way this drawbar was bent and the damage to the tender kind of looks like this has had a drop in the past. Now, one of these wires is positive and one's a negative. A simple way to find out is to Where's my strippers? Strip the ends off just now. And we'll just do a wee continuity test. So this is the positive side. So that's the positive wire. So that goes to that brush there. So I'm going to put a little loop in that one. So I know that's the negative one. So there's a little channel in the weight for the wires. Just got to try and get them to sit in that. So that'll sit like that. So that's going to need soldered to there, and that needs soldered to there. Do that up, right, okay. But that'll do, I think. Clip that. Is that wire on? All right, okay. Goes up through there, that comes down. These want to be squished down there. There you go. It looks a wee bit squint for some reason. Never mind. Right. Does this go with a battery to the wheels? Yes, it does. Right. Okay. We're winning. What am I doing? Right. Get this on the test track. Does it go? Yes, it does. Right, let's see if we can sort this problem. I need to bend these wires down. So what I've done in the past is a couple of makeshift brass clips. I think we'll probably do the same. Okay, so using a little bit of brass strip, I've made a couple of little clips that will just tuck under the weight at the rear of the tender there. Okay, the tender body fits very snugly onto this weight, so putting those clips underneath the weight raises the weight up, obviously, and it raises the tender body up. Yep. So the wee brass clip idea is not going to work. Yeah, I think we'll have to resort to a spot of black tack. It's a bit of a bodge, but hey ho. There you go, that'll be fine. And the rear couplings come off. The epoxy putty didn't hold. You know, epoxy putty is good stuff, but it doesn't stick to things very well, I find. But actually, I'm looking at this again. I think I just need to put a different screw in. Let's try that. Will that fit? Because there's still a bit hole left. I think it might just... Go with that. There we go. It was me messing around with epoxy putty and it didn't work. It was worth a go. But there we go, that's screwed on. And then we'll get the body on. So one last thing I'm doing is removing the traction tyres from those middle wheels because it will run better. The traction tyres and middle wheels entirely unnecessary, and they tend to cause the tender to be a bit unstable. It will balance much better with traction tyres there and there and there and there. Plenty traction, 4 traction wheels, it'll be absolutely fine. But with the middle wheels not touching the track, it will go around corners better and it should be a bit more stable. Right, I think we're done. Let's go and pull it out of the shed. Okay then, let's bring her out. So there we are, that's this old Hornby Black 5 in running order once again. Yeah, the tender was in a bit of a state, the motor needed a good service, the wiring needed redone, and of course the left valve gear needed repaired. If I hadn't messed around with the epoxy putty, I probably could have got this done an awful lot quicker, but with the work needed on both the tender and the engine, this was always going to take a bit of time to sort out. I'm going to have a look at the front bogie before I return this because it sounds to me like the wheels are dragging going around the curves. I think there's a bit of a wheel spacing issue there. I think the bogie wheels are set too wide, I reckon. If you have one of these 6-wheel tender drives, I totally recommend removing the traction tyres from the middle wheels. It will run a lot better, believe me. Otherwise, this actually runs pretty well and a lot better than I expected it to be honest. The motor isn't too whiny, although the Silver Seal or Fleischmann motors do make a pretty distinctive sound that I have to say I'm not overly keen on. But I have to say this one isn't too bad. Right, I shall get this packed up, ready to go back to Paul along with the 2MT. And as you can see, I've been messing around a little with some scenery work. More on that in the next layout update video, which will be soon. This is all just a sort of test of something at the moment, so excuse the mess, and I shall catch you later. Turned out the wheels in the front bogie were certainly set too wide, so I've squeezed them in a bit. But also the fixing bracket was a little bit out of shape, and the wheels weren't making full contact with the track. But that's sorted now, and it runs much quieter.